The day of the Lord, Revelation chapter 1 and verse 10. The Lord's day. I came to be in the Spirit on the day of the Lord, when I heard a loud voice behind me like a trumpet. International Standard Version. This is not Sunday, but the day of the Lord. That is a day when the Lord will be manifested in power, and is referred to in Malachi chapter 4 verses 1 to 2, Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 12, Acts chapter 17 and verse 31, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 2, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 2, and 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 4. To that day, true believers were always taught to look. The tabernacle and altar always faced east, towards the rising sun. The Passover was celebrated at night, anticipating the deliverance of the coming day. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 1 to 4. Although John was physically in Patmos, he was mentally in the day of the Lord, beyond the time of the resurrection of the dead, which will introduce the great and terrible day of Yahweh. John was thus present in spirit at the day of the Lord. There will be 3 phases to the Lord's day. The first, the manifestation of God's judgment through Christ Jesus and his elect, the saints, which will include the great day of Yahweh's wrath. This period is the time of transition, of converting the nations, first offering them peace through love, second by destroying the contentious opposition by word of mouth and the rebellious opposition by means of war. Second, the day of the Lord, when the King, Christ Jesus, reigns supreme and his righteous judgments are manifested among all people. This is the 1,000 years day of judgment. And third, the day of Yahweh, when Christ turns the kingdom over to the Father, that God might be all and in all. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 28.